Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jason. We are currently in the back of my new to me 2018 Tundra TRD off-road in quicksand tan. Now some of you guys might know me from my silver 4Runner that I had for about 5 years or so, but due to some life changes, I ended up having to go with a truck, and I knew from my previous ownership of Toyotas that my next full-size truck was obviously going to be a Tundra. This is not going to be a crazy long video or anything like that. We're just going to kind of talk about this thing stock. I still have the temporary plates on this one, and I've done almost nothing to it, although I will show you some of the modifications I've done. I will talk a little bit about some of my plans and why I specifically went with this exact layout and configuration with the long bed and all that. But let's go ahead and do a little bit of a walk around, show you guys what I'm working with here, and yeah, we'll go ahead and start off in the front. All right, so this is it right here. It has obviously way too much chrome, so some of this will be a little bit different here in a couple days. That is actually one of the things that I will be fixing, but you know, just use your imagination here what it's gonna look like. So this is the 2018, it is a SR5 TRD off-road package. It has 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, A-track, but it does not have a locker. That is possibly something I will fix in the future, but for now, 4-wheel low and A-track are perfectly fine. So it is the 5.7 liter version. There is a 4.6, I believe. That one is a little bit better on gas mileage, but I would much prefer this one. You get a much more robust engine, a little bit better sound, as well as a higher towing capacity. I believe on the 5.7 liter, you get a 10,500 pound towing capacity. So if you get the 4.6, you first of all don't get the trailer brake in there, but you also, I think, get like 6,500 on the 4.6. So at that point, you basically have the same towing capacity as the Tacoma, but you get a lot worse gas mileage. In this one, I've been getting about 16 on average, but I've been doing a little bit more highway driving. When I had my 4Runner, that was on 34s, and I was getting roughly about 15 or so, as low as 14 when I was doing a lot of off-road and back-road driving. So the 4Runner was on 34s, that is a 305 7017. This one here has an 18-inch wheel, although I will be going to a 17. It is a 275 70 18. I'll try to put somewhere on the screen the comparison between the stock Tundra and the stock 4Runner. I believe the stock 4Runner is a 265 70 17. Then I had a 305 70 17, although this one with a lift can easily fit 35s. So that is the plan. I'll be able to run a little bit larger tires than I was running on the 4Runner pretty easily without all the cutting I had to do on the 4Runner. Now I don't want to get too lost in the weeds on the tire size and the miles per gallon and all that, but obviously that will affect the miles per gallon, which is why I'm not going 37s like a lot of people do. So this obviously is in the quicksand tan, desert tan, Afghan tan, Taliban tan, whatever you want to call it. This is the Toyota tan that you'll see on also Tacomas and 4Runners. So this color was a big thing for me. Really, at the end of the day, the only colors I was interested in were the desert tan, the cement white, and maybe the magnum. Just for shooting purposes, these work the best, and just the best for what I'm doing. As part of that configuration, I also did want to get the double cab, which gives me the 6.5 foot bed. Now this was difficult to find in this color. A lot of people really like the crew cab, which comes out, maybe an extra foot or so, because the crew cab has a 5.5 foot bed, which is definitely something that I did not want. Luckily for me, the thing that most people didn't want was the thing that I wanted, so it worked out perfectly. So in this back seat, you can still fit a person in here pretty easily. I've sat back here before, and it's pretty comfortable. Maybe a little tiny bit less room than I had in the 4Runner, but you know, not by a lot. And I really don't have a lot of people back here. I had to make sure that my dog's kennel fit in here, and that perfectly fit. So that's all that really mattered to me. So the reason that I went with the 6.5 foot bed here is because of future plans. Now, a big thing for me about my 4Runner was that anytime I wanted to camp in it, it was not stealth at all. I had the rooftop tent on top, and that was my way of sleeping. And although I do plan on putting a rooftop tent on here, I definitely would like to go with a topper. I think I've got one in mind that's going to work, and then possibly in the future, a full-on camper where I can sleep in the top as well as the bottom here. Now it's 6.5 foot, so I think from here to here with this up, it's about 6 foot 7 inches, which is plenty enough for me to sleep in the back here. So I know a lot of people like the bed racks, and that's cool. I think it looks super cool, makes it look very unique and very aggressive. But for me, I would much rather have a straight line through here and also be able to use the bed. Now, as it sits right now, I have these roam boxes back here. I only brought one with me, but I can stack these in the back. However, if you're really wanting to get in, all you gotta do is reach in and grab it. So realistically, if I was even gonna do a bed rack back here, I would definitely do some sort of tonneau cover, which I think would eliminate a lot of that. However, I would just prefer to have a topper on the back. And that way, if I really want to, I can sleep in it. And also, it's protected from the elements in here, as well as being protected from people stealing. So one of the downsides to the double cab is that back here, you don't get the full sliding down window. That was one of my favorite things about the 4Runner, was that rear sliding down window. You will get that in the crew cab, but not in this one. You just get that sliding right there. So here is the rear. You do get the color matched bumper back here, which I really do like. I wish the front had that color matched. I love this color, and I wish there was more of it on here. I know it can be a polarizing color. It's basically dirty right now, and you can't really even tell because the dust blends right in. I don't know if you can see that, but the dust blends right into it, which is something I really like. To me, it just looks really cool. I've always loved this color. So the interior in here is absolutely massive. I really love this a lot. There's tons of space. It's a lot more comfortable on longer trips. See if we can bump that ISO up. And yeah, very luxurious, but you know, not too much different than the 4Runner. Just a lot more space. Honestly, it looks very similar, except a few things in there. Realistically, if you have a 4Runner, this will look very familiar. I had a 4Runner, and pretty much the only thing that was different is this is the volume on the 4Runner, and that actually, for like the first week, messed me up because I kept trying to turn the volume up on this and actually started calling people. But yeah, just takes a little bit of getting used to. So it's difficult to see down here right now, but you do have the trailer brake on this model. So just some simple modifications are all I've really done to it. First of all, these were chrome here. Went ahead and went to Running for Tacos and got the blackout kit for that. Super easy mod. Not very expensive, but it looked even worse with all the chrome. You know, think this right here. It was not great. So I went ahead and blacked that out. Super easy mod. Definitely recommend that. If you want, I'll drop links to 4Runner, Tacoma, and Tundra blackout kit below. Speaking of blackout, this chrome grille right here right now is currently being painted. I picked up the Pro Grill, which the insert, that surround top and the surround bottom right there. That I got from Running for Tacos as well. And I just had to take it to a paint shop, so it will be color matched here and look just like that. The insert in the middle will be black, and I'll probably plasti dip this because I have plans for a full-on bumper on this build. Another easy mod I did, weirdly enough, this one came with like a long, old school antenna. I just replaced it with this little stubby one, and it's less likely to break. Super easy mod. I think it was like 20 bucks. I'll drop a link below if you have the Tundra and you want to replace that. That being said, guys, that's really all I've done to it so far. It's pretty much completely stock, but it won't be like that for long. I don't want to give away too much on this build, but this will be lifted and on 35s with some 17-inch wheels on it, as well as a topper and tent up top. There'll also be a front bumper going on here with some lights involved. I haven't panned that one out, but that's kind of where that's going. But for this build, it's really not going to be like a heavy, rock crawler or anything like that. We're just going to be doing this for overland, so longer trips, going, comfortable ride, being able to sleep in the bed if we need to, being able to sleep up top, and kind of deciding what we want to do when we go. This isn't going to be a rock crawler by any means, but we are going to build it out so that we can do some pretty decent off-roading. This thing stock is actually pretty capable as it is. I did a little bit of off-roading to get out here. It was very capable. We would like a little bit more clearance on it. It has 10.6 inches of clearance from the factory, which is more than the 4Runner has from the factory by about an inch. I'll have to do some bro math to see what I was sitting at on my 4Runner with a 3-inch lift and 34s. I think we're probably not that much shorter on this one. With 35s, we'll be a lot taller. So some things that people have brought up to me that I want to kind of address here. First being the very much obvious one, that this is a lot wider than my 4Runner was, and it's a lot wider than the Tacoma. So I won't be able to fit down trails anymore. Well, I think that has a little bit of validity to it. Obviously, there are going to be trails out there that are just way too tight. I've been down some trails before in my 4Runner where the 4Runner was a little too tight or a little bit too wide to fit down. I've never really been a fan of tight trails. I don't do crazy heavy off-roading. I do on occasion, but it's not something that I focus on the channel. I think for the most part, most trails that I do, the Tundra is going to work fine, but obviously I will just have to be a little bit more cautious. Kind of the thing that changed my mind on this is last year I did a trip with Adventure Built as well as some other YouTubers. Pretty much a lot of, if not like half of the people there had full-size trucks. We did perfectly fine. Now that was out in Ouray where the roads are pretty wide, but yeah, still very capable even with the full size. The second of which is gas mileage. Kind of run through my head on gas mileage and how that's going to be when I put on the 35s, but that is sort of why I'm going with 35s and not 37s. I already was getting like 13, 14 in my 4Runner, so probably about the same in the Tundra. It's just geared a little bit better. Even with the bigger engine, I think it will probably be around that. I will do a follow-up video, as obviously this is going to be the build on the channel. But anyway, guys, that being said, if you have any more questions, let me know below. But I appreciate you guys stopping by, checking out the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.